I've talked before about Nintendo's legacy franchises and how they should use the Switch's success to bring them into the current generation. Well, it seems Nintendo's been having similar thoughts because some of the games we're seeing this year were considered improbable at best just a few months ago. But what do these announcements mean, not just for their respective series, but for other dormant franchises too? Without further ado, let's get started. Hey there, I'm Kardino. Although it was certainly better received than the last one, opinions on Nintendo's E3 2021 Direct still seem to be mixed. Either you think it was close to perfect, or you think it was too niche and didn't appeal to a wide enough audience. And that's how you get people rating it all the way between a 6 and a 10 out of 10. But today, let's talk about those niche titles and how they're signaling what may come in the near future. First off, we have Metroid Dread. One could argue the series isn't strictly niche, but I'm throwing it in anyway because, let's be honest, they sell about as well as one. As they mentioned, this is the first new 2D game in the series since the Game Boy Advance, and the first mainline game since the Wii. And although Prime 4 was announced first, this game actually has a release date, so I consider it at least slightly more important. Now, we know this game was developed by the same people who made Samus Returns, and even though that game flopped, Nintendo still asked them to make a new game. And whether or not you believe the game should be priced at $60, you can't deny that's giving the franchise some much needed attention. You have people now wondering how they can play these games and talking about how they're now interested in the series. And if you want my personal opinion, this definitely looks like a $60 game. Yeah, it's not going to be as big as Breath of the Wild, but let's be real here, this is far from the most egregious pricing they've done, even in this Direct. But I guess in the end, it'll be up to the people to decide. Granted, the fact that this, 1, and Super are really the only Metroid games on Switch is an issue, but one for another day. Okay, so Nintendo brought back one series from behind the shed. What's the big deal? Well, on its own, it wouldn't be one. But you know what else Nintendo brought back? WarioWare. Now, like with Metroid, if you were to count compilation games or remakes, then the series hasn't technically been dead since 2017. But if you were to go back to the last traditional title, we haven't gone one since the Wii. Not only that, but remember how I said that releasing games at a budget price could help revive Nintendo's smaller franchises? Well, it seems Nintendo's been thinking the same thing. Kinda. I mean, they're releasing the game at $50 instead of $40 like I wanted, but it's better than charging full price. Speaking of, Advance Wars is back, baby! This is one of those series that you hear people talk about, but it's been so long that the games aren't easily available anymore. Everyone was convinced this series would never return. In fact, this was a franchise that hadn't seen any new games since 2008. And again, they traditionally didn't sell too well. In fact, the last game, released on the DS, only sold around 130,000 units. For a system with 150 million plus users, that's pretty bad, and it's no surprise Nintendo shelved it. But now, they're giving everyone the chance to try this series out again. For $60 though, yeah, typical Nintendo pricing right there. I'm gonna be honest, this game does not look worth the price of admission. I mean, the animations look nice, but from the perspective of an outsider, if I didn't know how the series was loved online, I wouldn't have given this game a second thought. Regardless, even if I don't think the game looks like it's worth it, I know a lot of people are excited, and I'm always happy when a niche franchise gets some love. So what does all this mean? Well, if you ask me, we're in a special time right now. The Switch is in the second half of its life, and most big titles are already made. So that means we're now much more likely to see some older franchises return, even if they were thought to be dead. I mean, come on, they brought back Advance Wars. And if this is now the case, what about other franchises? We might see a port of Kid Icarus Uprising, a new Golden Sun, or even F-Zero. In fact, I think it's safe to say that at least one of these will happen in the next couple years, at least statistically speaking. As for myself, I'm a newcomer to the Metroid series, and I am seriously considering picking up Dread. And in the meantime, I'm gonna run through some more games on my Wii U. WarioWare looks like it might be fun, and as for Advance Wars, I'm actually ready to try the series for the first time. On my Wii U, because screw that nonsense. Anyway, what do you think of Nintendo bringing back its older franchises like this? And while we're on the subject, what do you think of the Direct as a whole? Are we entering a new age of revivals, or are all these just coincidences? I feel like this will be like the March 2018 Direct, where people will be divided at first, but later on we'll look back on it as one of the best ones so far. I mean, Monkey Ball was there, so it's pretty good by default. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.